with a monster burnout here on the tower side. I can tell you, this young man is going to be pumped up in the tires only entry. You can see his dad back behind the starting line with a little grin on his face as they bring her back to the starting line. The Peyton Racing team had a great deal that they put together with tires only, and they had a fellow win a trip to London Motorsports Park this weekend to be on the crew of the tires only alcohol funny car of the Peyton Racing team. So you see them out on the starting line area watching as they bring the car back to the starting line. Some kind of a thrill to win a trip to the races, to be in the top alcohol funny car racing action. Bunny Burkett waits patiently behind the starting line as Todd Payton brings her to the starting line. You see his brother bringing him back to the starting line, his dad giving direction as they move back. Todd Payton. Bunny Burkett's going to give it a dry hit in the export lane. Bunny Burkett likes the traction. She says everything's in good shape over there in the export lane. Todd Payton, he's going to be ready. The Peyton Racing entry on the tower side. You saw his dad give him the 5. That usually means 5,000 RPM when they leave the starting line. That's pretty high for an alcohol funny car to leave the starting line. Brother and dad checking the gauges and equipment as they pull to the starting line area. Bill Barrett backing Bunny Burkett in as they get ready. This is going to be a great run in alcohol funny car eliminator. Let's see what happens. Todd Payton here on the tower side against Bunny Burkett from Sterling, Virginia. Drivers reaching down, checking their steering wheel. They got their hands on the butterfly steering wheels. They'll hold the brake lever in one hand, then release the brake and go to the steering wheel to shift the car down the racetrack. 1, 2, and 3. The pre-stage. Here comes your countdown. Todd Payton, Bunny Burkett. Bunny Burkett, Todd Payton. What a run. Look at this one through the top end. It's going to be Payton. Look at the ET 611. Low ET of the event for Todd Payton. 611, 230 miles an hour against Bunny Burkett, 635, 224. Oh my goodness, are they happy? The Firestone tire entry done the job. 611, a new track record for top alcohol funny car. Give them a big hand as they head down the racetrack. What a job out of Paris, Ontario. Brand new track record for the Peyton Racing team. 611, 230 miles an hour for Todd Payton. Bunny Burkett done a great job as well. Give their crew a big hand. Nice job by Bunny Burkett. She left on Todd, and I got to tell you, Bunny Burkett with a great reaction time. 440 reaction time for Bunny Burkett in the export lane. That is a fine reaction time. Todd here on the tower side, he was a little behind her on the starting line, but he certainly was not behind in the top end of the racetrack. As they crossed the finish line, 230 miles an hour for Todd Payton, taking the win in that round of top alcohol funny car.
This program is sponsored by London Motorsports Park, located 2 miles west of Sparta, Ontario. For more information, call 775-2263, area code 519.
So get set. This is the one you've been waiting for. I like to watch the wheel standers, the wind-up pickup and the legendary chuck wagon. Danny O'Day with a funny little snaky type burnout as he pulls up to the starting line. The legendary chuck wagon over there in the export lane. Danny Bermer at the wheel of the chuck wagon here on the tower side. Danny O'Day just returning with this truck from Germany. He done a tour of Europe with the wind-up pickup. The chuck wagon on initial checkout pass looks pretty good over there in the export lane. Danny O'Day. He checks things out in the top end. Yeah, he looks pretty sharp through the top end for Danny O'Day on the tower side. Entry. They'll bring him back to the starting line. We're going to see a drag race on the back wheels between Danny O'Day and Danny Bermer in the legendary chuck wagon. Pretty interesting concept, these wheel standers. The drivers usually have single controls on the rear brakes. They steer these vehicles with brakes on either side of the vehicle. If it heads to one side, they lock the opposing brake to move the vehicle back and forth on the racetrack at over 125 miles an hour. All the steering obviously with the back brakes on these wind-up pickup and the legendary chuck wagon. As they head down the racetrack, you see the chuck wagon with the fire and smoke emitting from the box area in the smokestacks, the wind-up pickup lining her up. We're going to have some great racing action out of these wheel standers on the starting line now. Both drivers on a nice clean run. Danny O'Day looks like he's out plenty on the power side. Very good race through the top end, all the way through the quarter mile, and his export side, 10:30, 129 miles an hour for Danny Bermer on the back wheels. Tower side right beside him all the way, 10:46, 131 miles an hour for Danny O'Day, the wind-up pickup. And have a look, everybody, at the top end of the racetrack. These guys do some wacko stuff, and you never know when a wheel stander will head back towards the starting line to give the fans a little bit of a show. Watch through the top end. We're looking for Danny O'Day and Danny Bermer. I can see, looks like somebody turned around down there. We'll see what happens as they head back to the starting line. Wheel stander action, export side. Now they're on the wrong side. It's the export side, Danny O'Day. Tower side, Danny Bermer with the parachute out as they bring him back towards the starting line for all you fans here at London Motorsports, the Labor Day Weekend Spectacular. What a great pair of wheel standers through the top end of the racetrack as they bring him nice and slowly to the starting line. Oh, look at that! They got him up in the air as they head back towards the starting line on the final run for the Labor Day Weekend Spectacular. Great job, both these racers, the wind-up pickup and Danny Bermer, the legendary chuck wagon. Give them a big hand. What a pair of showmen. The parachute still dragging behind the chuck wagon as he brings it back to the pit area. A great job, well done by both those racers. The Jets are coming out here in the final. This is their final lap of the weekend here at the Canadian Labor Day Weekend Spectacular, the one and the only Labor Day Weekend Spectacular. Aggie Hendricks waving to all her fans here on the tower side as she gets strapped into that wild-looking dragster, the Odyssey entry on the tower side. The crew is checking things over. The Rock and Roll Thunder in the export side, the Dustman Brothers entry. Out of Malvern, Ohio, the Rock and Roll Thunder J85 General Electric jet engine for the Dustman Brothers entry. I see John Fletcher hanging around behind the back of Aggie Hendricks' car. That's the place you don't want to be when they light one of these jets, I'll tell you. He could be like Broadway Bob and get out here on the front of Aggie Hendricks' car, do a couple of burner pops, and we'll take a picture of it and send it to National Dragster. And all the folks in NHRA would be having a coronary, I could tell you that. Yeah, you might increase your insurance rate if you had the track operator sitting on the front of a jet as it done some burner pops and moved to the starting line area, so maybe we'll be the wiser of the two. Then again, I've known us to do some wild things with jet funny cars. I can remember a few years ago, John on a pit bike just like the one he's on now raced R.W. Elliott in the car you see over in the export lane back at Cayuga. The Rock and Roll Thunder car was, I believe, dialed at 6 flat. The mini bike we dialed, I think, 32 seconds. The jet blew by the mini bike about 260 miles an hour through the top end. We only hoped that it wouldn't blow them off the bike as they headed through the top end of the racetrack, but everything worked out pretty good, and it was a great exhibition run. So we'll continue to do things just like that here at London Motorsports, and this is the final in jet exhibition racing. Just a note for any of you that have small children around the racetrack area, make sure you either cover their ears or do something as these cars come to life. Very, very loud when these jet engines come to life, so make sure you are prepared if you have earplugs or whatever the case may be. 5,000 horsepower available in these jet engines as they make their way to the starting line. You can hear the turbines whining as they get ready to go. Jet action at its best here at the Labor Day Weekend Spectacular. You see Wayne Newth giving Aggie Hendricks the high five. He says everything's ready. The Odyssey car looks good as the crew get in their vehicles, head to the top end of the racetrack. The Dustman brothers are on their way. Here comes the Odyssey crew. Aggie Hendricks. Lots of smoke and fire from Aggie Hendricks. The Odyssey car here on the tower side. Pops galore as Aggie Hendricks pins her head against the roll cage. Look at Aggie here on the tower side getting rocked around in the Odyssey car. Jack Dustman on the export side. He's just about ready as the crews are through the top end. Aggie's in and ready. Dustman got the pre-stage on. Here comes Aggie. Dustman in stage. Here's the countdown. Dustman moves on Aggie. Here comes Aggie Hendricks. Look at her go through the other end. Aggie Hendricks 549, 266 miles an hour. What a run. Export side, Dustman 619, 262 miles an hour in the export side, but Aggie Hendricks again a 549. So we just have to run out here and quickly spin our 60-foot photo cells back into those jets blowing by the 60-foot clocks that spun them around in a circle. So that's a wrap for the Labor Day Weekend Spectacular. Don't forget the one and only Labor Day Weekend Spectacular. Hope you had a great weekend of racing. I know we had a great weekend putting it on for you. I'd like to thank many of the great sponsors that were here this weekend, the folks from Tires Only, up here with the Peyton Racing team all weekend having a good job. I know the Peytons really appreciate the folks from Tires Only and all the help they've given them. Tom and all his guys from Firestone Tire, of course Benny and Brenda and all the folks from Firestone, we've appreciated their help throughout the year. Olga's here from Sunoco, of course, the Ultra 94 Super Series. What would we do without the folks from Sunoco? So it's great to have them all here for this big race, the final race of the points for the 1992 season. And that'll do it from here at London Motorsports Park. We'd like to thank you all for being here with us this weekend. We'll see you later on during the year. We've got lots more good racing. Have a safe trip home, and we'll see you next week here at London Motorsports Park.
This program is sponsored by London Motorsports Park, located 2 miles west of Sparta, Ontario. For more information, call 775-2263, area code 519.